Picture a room the size of a country. For a few years in the middle of the 2000s, MySpace was the most crowded room on the internet. Bands, teenagers, comedians, strangers, first loves, garage musicians who would soon be famous. All of them piled into the same glowing space, decorating their corners with auto-playing songs and clashing colors and glitter that moved. And when you walked in the door, someone was already waiting to be your friend. His name was Tom. Everybody's first friend was Tom, a single smiling face over one shoulder, pasted onto tens of millions of brand new profiles, the closest thing the early social web had to a host standing at the entrance saying, "Welcome, come in. It's already a party." By 2006, MySpace was one of the most visited websites in the entire United States. Reports put it somewhere in the range of 75 to 100 million people a month, depending on who you asked and when. It launched in 2003. In under 3 years, it had become the place the internet met itself. That summer of 2005, Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation bought MySpace's parent company for around $580 million. A media empire had just purchased the future. Now look at the same room 6 years later. In 2011, News Corp sold MySpace for about $35 million, a small fraction of what it paid, to a group of buyers that included the musician Justin Timberlake. The party was over. The lights were still on. The profiles were still there, frozen mid-sentence, songs still queued to play for no one. But the people were gone. Here's the question this episode exists to answer. Not why the room emptied. Rooms empty all the time. Why did it empty so fast? And why did almost everyone leave for the exact same door? Every company we examine is shaped by 4 forces: market, the customers, the category, the product they actually experience, money, how the company's funded and what that funding quietly asks of it, management, the decisions made at the top, and the speed at which the company can change, moment, the timing and the shift nobody chose but everybody had to live through. All 4 are always present. Only one is decisive. MySpace is a market case. Money pushed it in the wrong direction. Management set the incentives that did the pushing. And the moment, clean identity, fast software, the move to mobile was the current running underneath all of it. But the force that decided the outcome was the market. Because in a market where it costs nothing to leave, the crowd does not stay loyal to the network. The crowd stays loyal to the room that feels better to be in. Here's the story you have probably heard. MySpace died because Facebook was cooler, because kids are fickle, because the internet moved on the way it always does. And the young simply got bored and wandered off to the next shiny thing. That story's catchy. It is also wrong, or at least it explains almost nothing, because it treats the audience as weather as something that just changes, when in fact the audience was doing something precise and rational the entire time. To see it, you have to understand what a social network actually is. A social network is not a product you buy once. It is a room you enter because other people are already in it. The value isn't the software. The value is the crowd. Economists call this a network effect, and it is the strongest moat in consumer technology, because the more people who join, the more reasons the next person has to join, and the harder it should be for anyone to leave. MySpace had that moat. MySpace for a while was that moat. It won the network first, and it won it enormously. So how does a moat that deep drain out in barely 2 years? Watch the 2 rooms side by side. By 2006, inside MySpace, the experience is getting louder. Not louder as in music, louder as in noise. Pages take longer to load. Ads multiply across the screen. Profiles are a riot of custom code, blinking backgrounds, and layouts that break as often as they work. The room is thrilling and it is chaos, and increasingly it is slow. And increasingly the person standing next to you might be a spam account or a fake band or an ad wearing a person's face. Now open the door to the room next door. Facebook launched in 2004. It opened to the general public in September of 2006. And where MySpace was a carnival, Facebook was a clean, fast, quiet hallway. Real names, real faces. A single consistent layout that loaded quickly and worked the same for everyone. You could not make it ugly. That was the point. It felt less like a nightclub and more like a directory of people you actually knew. And in that same year, 2006, Facebook shipped the feature that would quietly change everything, the news feed. Instead of visiting your friends' pages one by one, the updates came to you. A single flowing river of what everyone was doing, delivered automatically, refreshing itself. It was a fundamentally better way to consume the same social information. Here's the mechanism. Hold on to it, because it is the whole episode. Switching cost near zero. Moving from MySpace to Facebook did not mean losing your phone number or your email or your files. It meant recreating a profile, which took an afternoon, and telling your friends where you'd gone. That's it. There was no lock. There was barely a latch, and the same network effect that fills a room can empty it just as fast, because it runs in both directions. When a handful of your friends drift to the better room, your reason to stay weakens. When more follow, the pull strengthens, the crowd tips, and once the crowd starts tipping, it does not trickle, it pours. The very thing that made MySpace unbeatable, everyone's here, reverses into the thing that makes it unbearable. Everyone is leaving. Users, it turns out, were never loyal to the network. They were loyal to the experience. The network was just the reason the experience was worth having. And the moment a materially better experience appeared at near zero cost to switch, the crowd did the only rational thing a crowd can do. It walked next door. MySpace didn't lose because its users were shallow. It lost because it had won the network and then stopped improving the room, while its rival did nothing but improve the room over and over, week after week. In a market like this one, arriving first is not the prize. It is only the head start. The prize goes to whoever executes the product best, because the product is what the crowd actually experiences. And the crowd can leave anytime it wants. MySpace was first, Facebook was better. In this market, better wins the network, no matter who got there first. Now, why did MySpace stop improving the room? This is where the money comes in, and where a win turns out to be a trap. In 2006, MySpace signed one of the most celebrated advertising deals of the era. Google agreed to pay roughly $900 million over a little more than 3 years to power search and advertising across MySpace. $900 million. For a business barely 3 years old, it looked like total vindication. The headlines wrote themselves. Read the fine print, though, and the deal was not simply a check. It came with targets. To earn that money in full, MySpace reportedly had to hit specified levels of traffic and page views. The payment was tied to performance, to keeping people clicking, and to serving them enough pages to satisfy the guarantees underneath the number. Think about what that does to a company's mind. Overnight, page views stopped being a byproduct of a good experience and became the objective itself. The thing you had to maximize. And how do you maximize page views and ad impressions in the short term? You show more ads. You break content across more pages, so each visit generates more loads. You optimize the site to harvest attention rather than to earn it. Every one of those moves nudges the room in exactly the wrong direction. More clutter, more friction, more of the noise that was already driving the experience down. This is the trap, dressed as a win. The Google deal didn't just bring in money. It installed ad load as a key metric. The number, the whole operation was now organized to move. And the pursuit of that number actively made the product worse at the precise moment the product needed to get dramatically better. Facebook in these same years was not being paid to maximize page views. It was funded to grow the network and refine the experience, to build something people wanted to be inside of, and worry about extracting revenue later. 2 companies, 2 incentives. One was paid to harvest attention today. The other was free to build the better room for tomorrow. Money is never neutral. Money comes with a shape, and the shape of MySpace's money bent it towards squeezing the crowd it already had. Instead of earning the crowd it was about to lose. The $900 million deal was real. So was the price hidden inside it. Money set the incentive. Management is who chose to follow it, and how slowly the company could move once it did. When News Corporation bought MySpace in 2005, it did not buy a technology company and run it as one. It bought a media property and ran it like one. And a media company has a very particular reflex. It thinks in audiences and advertising and reach and revenue, in the numbers a sales team can put in front of a buyer. Under that reflex, MySpace was managed toward monetization, toward hitting the targets, filling the inventory, making the quarter, with product velocity treated as a secondary concern. That's the opposite of how the room next door was being run. Facebook was managed as a product company obsessed with the product. Ship, measure, improve, ship again. Fast iteration was the entire culture, and that difference in temperament, media property versus product company, showed up in the one currency that mattered here: the speed at which each site could get better. And MySpace had a second problem, quieter and more technical, but just as deadly. Its code base, the underlying machinery of the site, had grown enormous, tangled, and hard to change. Years of rapid, bolted-on growth had left it heavy. So even when the team knew what needed fixing, the speed, the clutter, the spam, the broken pages, improving it was slow and painful. You cannot win a foot race against a company that ships every week if it takes you months to move. So put the picture together. Management pointed the company at ad revenue and hit the numbers targets when the market was quietly demanding product speed, and the very machine it had to improve resisted improvement. Wrong priority, sitting on top of a slow engine in a race where the only thing that mattered was how fast you could make the room better. None of this was villainy. It was a media company running a media playbook competently on a business that had secretly become a software race. The playbook was fine. It was simply the wrong game. Management didn't kill MySpace by making one catastrophic decision. It killed MySpace by optimizing hard for the wrong variable, while the machine underneath was too heavy to let it change its mind in time. Every one of these forces was riding a larger wave. That wave is the moment. Something was shifting in what social software fundamentally was. The early web, MySpace's web, was anonymous, expressive, chaotic, a place to be whoever you wanted and decorate the walls. The web that was arriving prized something different: real identity, real names, a clean and trustworthy social graph, and speed above spectacle. The center of gravity moved from the anonymous carnival toward the fast, real name utility. That was the current of the age, and Facebook was built to ride it. MySpace was built for the moment just before it, and then came the bigger wave underneath the first one, the phone. The world was moving off the desktop and into the pocket. The modern smartphone era was beginning, and social software was about to be something you carried everywhere and checked all day. Fast, native, always in reach. Winning meant being excellent on a small screen, and a slow connection being lean and quick and light. Facebook committed hard to that transition. MySpace, heavy and cluttered and slow, was poorly shaped for a world where the room lived in your hand. So the timing of the two waves was merciless. Just as the market demanded clean identity and speed, MySpace was carnival and clutter. Just as the market demanded mobile-first lightness, MySpace was heavy. The moment did not create MySpace's problems. It sharpened every one of them, and it rewarded the company built for what came next. Moment did not decide this case on its own, but it set the terms of the race, and MySpace was running the wrong one. Let's rule on all four. Market, decisive. MySpace won the network first, but in a market with near zero switching cost, the crowd went to the better executed product, and network effects that build a room can empty it just as fast. Money, a trap dressed as a win. The $900 million Google deal turned page views and ad load into the target, and chasing that target made the experience worse exactly when it needed to get better. Management, amplifier. News Corp ran a product race with a media playbook, optimizing for ad revenue and hit the numbers targets over product velocity. On top of a large, hard-to-iterate code base that made the site slow to fix. Moment, the current underneath. The shift to clean, real identity, fast social software, and then to mobile was the wave Facebook rode, and MySpace was built just too early to catch. Now the misconception, one more time, because it is worth killing cleanly. MySpace did not lose because Facebook was cooler or because kids are fickle. That explains the mood in the room. It does not explain the mechanism. Here's the mechanism. MySpace was run to harvest a network it already owned. Its rival was run to build a better product. And in a market where switching costs almost nothing, the better product wins the network, no matter who arrived first. The moat was never the crowd. The moat was the experience, and an experience is something you have to keep earning every single week or it walks out the door you left open. The lights are still on in that first room, the profiles are still there. Tom is still your friend, but everybody walked next door because someone opened a better room and leaving cost nothing. Another case is already on the table, another company that mistook the crowd it had for a crowd it got to keep. If you want the next case before it goes public, join the free corporate anatomy briefing. The link is in the description.